World record on first attempt, 366. So that's the R20 world record in single core category with the Xeon L3014 at 5877. Previous top score by Sempron CPU at 362, and the previous top score with this particular CPU model was 357. So this was like a 9-point improvement already with first attempt, and there's definitely more headroom left. It takes around 12 minutes to run this test, so it takes quite a bit of time. The R15 takes like 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes and 50 seconds, something like this. So very good, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this particular test. Okay. Okay, that's a very quick and dirty Y-Cruncher Y1 billion top score. I think the Benchmate version isn't as efficient as the normal one, as this was 1138.482 seconds. The previous one I actually had was with the so where is it? The normal one, and that was 1118, like 18 or 20 seconds faster. So, but I didn't have Java, how do you pronounce it? So I couldn't save it. So that's kind of weird and stupid. But well, I can always rerun this. This is the first time I ever did this test. So that's obviously one of the main reasons why it's not very good. So I need Java enabled to be able to do it, or how do you call it? So, oh well, at least I have capture card footage of it. Well, that's pretty much it. Okay, and that's the Y-Cruncher top score once again. That's 1119.702 seconds, so that's like 18 minutes and 30 seconds. The previous top score was some French guy at 19 minutes and 10 seconds, so this is like a 40-second improvement over the previous top score, so it's very good, but a lot of messing around. So you need to install the Java to run the validator or submitter program, and you need to run the run benchmark first. So don't mess around like me, what I did at the start. You need this one, not the Benchmate. Benchmate is less efficient than this one. But yeah, so hope you enjoyed the run or the score, and I can always come back and rerun this if needed be. Okay, so that's the first ever over 1 FPS world record on the X2654K in single core category with the Intel Xeon L3014. I held this record for a very long time, but some Italian guy beat my score during the first days of this year, so 2021, and the previous top score by him was 0.997 FPS, so this was 1.011 FPS at 5806 or 5 megahertz. This CPU can at least do this at like 5850, I'm sure, but it gives memory issues, so you need to be tuning the memories is very hard with the CPU, because this is not technically supported by these X40 motherboards like the Rampage Extreme. So the NB voltage, for example, has to be exactly spot on for dual channel to work properly. But anyways, I'm extremely happy about this score. I've been trying this for a very long time, and look at the elapsed time, 27 minutes 59.366 seconds. So you can obviously imagine it takes quite a bit of time to run this test on LN2 with constant purring. So just remember that one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This will be on HWBOT as well, so check out the score if you wish. And I think the last one is R15 and Geekbench 3 at well above 6 GHz or something like this. So yeah, damn awesome. And okay, those are pretty much the missing top scores with the Xeon L3014 that I really wanted to get. So I was having a lot of issues at the start, as I didn't try to even turn on or start all of the different tests I wish to run during the session. So, for example, when I tried to run Cinebench R20 at the start, I couldn't even start the test. It was giving me some weird, like kernel 32 DLL issues. So I was missing some specific updates on my Windows operating system. So it's very funny, like during the record-breaking session, you are actually googling around, searching for issues on some Windows operating system issues. So I quickly found out the missing update and I installed it, and I could run Cinebench R20 and take the top score with just one single attempt at 5.877. I think the max speed in that particular test with this particular CPU is very close to 6 GHz, but it takes time as a memory controller is one of my main issues. And yeah, a lot of messing around with Y Cruncher, as I have never run that test before this session. So I actually haven't even started that particular benchmark ever in my life before this before this test session that I had today. But yeah, so I pretty much ran that same test at same speed 3 times. So first time was actually a very good run, but I failed to save the validation files and the screenshots properly because I was missing Java in my operating system, so I couldn't do it. Then I ran the record score for the first time with Benchmate, and it was the top score, but the efficiency was very bad. And then on the third time I went with Java installed and ran with the Y Cruncher program in itself without Benchmate, and I got a very nice top score of 18 minutes and 30 seconds. And the last one was the X2654K, and I only had LN2 for one single attempt. So it was very tough, but I was able to do the first ever over 1 FPS run in that particular test at 5.8 GHz. I think I could do 5850, maybe even 5.9, but it takes time, and especially with memories, as I said. So maybe I can retry some of these tests later with this particular CPU, but who knows. So I still would like to try a bit higher in R15 and Geekbench 3 at well over 6 GHz. It's possible, but it's very hard, and it's extremely difficult to boot 6 GHz because you can't move too much inside operating system, FSB I mean. For Y Cruncher, you need at least almost 5 GB of RAM installed, so you can't run 2x2 like over here what I'm running at the moment. First I tried to run 4 sticks of dominated GDX2s, but it's very hard to run proper settings like high FSB with 4 DIMMs. So I switched to G-Skill Trident X that I have from some years ago. Yeah, these are 2600 Cas10 sticks. These are Samsung D-Die, DDR3, some very basic. It could have been any like 4 GB sticks, and I ran them with the main timings at auto nearly, and somewhere like close to 1700 MHz on the RAM with Cas7, and yeah, I was able to take down the top score that way, but it was very hard to even post those memory sticks at very high FSB of 630 and almost 640. So it took some time to get them working, but yeah, at least it worked out in the end. But yeah, those are pretty much the top score, the missing scores I wanted to get. Maybe I could try R15 and Geekbench 3, but don't know. Now GPU Pi is probably the most annoying one. Both GPU Pi 1 billion and the X2654K, they do last like half an hour, and running half an hour test on LN2 is very painful when you need to constantly pour LN2 to maintain a very solid temperature on the CPU container. But that's where the Kimping Cooling F1 Dark comes in. The best pot for sure for these old platforms like 775 and so on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So these scores are already posted on HWBOT. I was actually submitting the very long ones during the session because I really wanted to be sure that they would post successfully and correctly on HWBOT. So if something goes wrong, like some invalid data file, I can still save another data file with the same submission or of the same run and to get it posted on HWBOT correctly. So that's why I never trust the single data file save, and that's why I often save many screenshots, which some of you even commented about, because sometimes even if you save multiple screenshots and you crash, you might lose all of them. So it happens. So anything can happen during these LN2 tests. So just what I wanted to say. I hope you like to see these top scores and some overclocking action on this very rare single core CPU from Intel from 2008. And give me a thumbs up if you like to see the video, and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching one of my overclocking adventures once again. And I'll see you on the next one.